All right, all right, all right.
All right.
Woo! Green bean.
He's all excited. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Everything NYJ podcast. Co-host Liam and Italy Jet here, Gino. And we are joined by a very special guest. You guys all know him from social media. You guys know him from YouTube. If you don't, you should. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Green Bean. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, look at me. Holy macaroni. Yeah, this is cool, man. I'm glad we were able to get it done. Sometimes my schedule is a little cockeyed, so I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for asking me to come on. This is cool.
Yeah, man. So glad to have you on, dude.
Right on.
So, how you doing? How's everything going?
Ooh, well, let's see. How's today go? Let's start with today. So what I teach on Mondays. Mondays are crazy. So I actually teach 3 classes on Mondays. I teach 8 to 11-year-olds how to make a YouTube channel, which is crazy town because it takes 45 minutes to get the internet started on their computers. That's literally every day, every Monday. But then I teach 12 to 18-year-olds how to do a YouTube channel. And then I teach a bunch of kids how to, like normal car maintenance, like, what to do when this light's on. Where's the brake fluid? What is that stick? That kind of shit. So I do. Oh, can I say shit? Is that bad?
Yeah, go for it.
Uncensored.
Right. Yeah. So I tell them all that shit. So yeah, I'm fried, man. And I had to fill in for another teacher today, an improv class. So I was teaching improv. What do I know about improv? So anyway, I'm fried. I came home, I slept for an hour and something, and now here I woke up for you guys. That's it, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. I'm all fresh. Yeah. Fresh.
Awesome, man.
We need people to talk about cars because, like, these kids, they don't know shit about cars.
They don't know anything.
They really don't. You see, like, a kid, like, pulled over, like the side of the road. He's, like, calling, like, AAA. I'm like, you can't change a tire?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? Today, we're there, like, so we're in a parking lot, like, so it's a homeschool thing. So everybody's kind of loose.
Oh, cool.
And we do it at this. There's all kinds of cool classes going on. Magic the Gathering. They're teaching strategy by using magic and all kinds of stuff. So I'm in the parking lot and I said to them, take a look at that car. I said, you see in the top right over there on the windshield, you see a little square. And they go, yeah. I said, do you know what that is? They're like, no. So we walk around the parking lot. I'm like, why does every car, like on the top corner of the windshield, has a little square sticker? And they're like, they have no idea. I'm like, why does every car here have it? And we went through, they didn't even know that, like, and some of them are literally 17 years, like they don't know. They don't know what that is. That's the oil change. That's the, like, so the oil change place. And I said, and the other thing with all the stickers is that clearly no one here knows how to change their own oil because they all went to Jiffy Lube or whatever, because they all have the sticker. Yeah. So yeah, it's good, man. It's like you get stuck on the road, on the side of the road. It's good to at least know how to change the damn tire, right? It's good to know.
Right.
How. Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do.
Appreciate that, man. We need more people like you.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled for 6 years as well. So.
There you go, bro. Excellent.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know anything about homeschool. My wife is cooler than me. So my wife did this. Now, this is the first year that I'm doing it. Up until this point, last 10 years, 8 years, my wife did it. Now my wife's working and I'm home with I don't know what the hell's going on. So now I'm teaching homeschool kids how to change tires. How did this happen? I have no idea. 6 months ago, I was driving around in an RV. I don't know what's going on, man. I just ride the wave, dude. This is life, man. We just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, that's funny.
We have one rule on this show. You have to say hello to Elmo, otherwise bad things happen, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Elmo, what's up, Elmo?
He will fuck this chat up if you don't. Yeah, so Elmo, what's going on, my friend?
I saw Elmo on Twitter. I saw Elmo.
Yep. He's on there.
Oh, look.
Gino, did you say hello to Elmo?
No. There you go, Elmo. What's up, my man? You followed me today. I followed you back. Good to see everybody in the chat.
Right on.
Good to see you.
I went above and beyond. I had to get in his good graces. I knew we had a big show tonight. I went right onto his page. I said, hello, Elmo. Just had to make sure it was all cleared. Because I'm telling you, that little Muppet will raise some hell. I'm telling you.
Yeah. We got to be careful. I see Matthias Simon is there, too. Is Matt Simon. I call him Matt. I guess he's Matthias now. Maybe he was always Matthias. And what do I know?
Right.
Matt used to run a very busy Jets forum, New York Jets forum. And I was hanging out with Matt going to tailgates, and we went to the green and white together back. I mean, when was that? It was like 2001, right, Matt?
Oh, wow.
So I've known him a long time.
Yeah, you and Matt go back. That's cool.
Yeah, but I haven't seen or heard from him in what 20 something years, Matt. And then we just like I was on here and he popped in. He's like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, look at that!"
Hey.
Yeah, it was great. So
Isn't that like that's so cool about this, man? Like with these Jets fans and everything, it's like it's such a cool way to connect. It really is.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, so he says a year 2000. I see Jet Show is in here. Jet Show is a good dude, man. Jet Show, I'm gonna have you on one of these days soon, man. Reach out to me on email, Jet Show, Mr. Show. Go ahead. I'll have you on in the next week or so. Mr. Show.
Yeah, he's actually our Sunday co-host. He does a Sunday show with him.
And I go on his show on Saturday nights.
Fantastic, man. All right, great. I watch whenever I can. It's hard to watch everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, back when I first started, I used to like be on every one of Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7, every one of his streams. I was on everything by Matt. I did everything. And it's like over the time, it's just like, I do it when I can. I watch 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But, there's a lot of us, man. There's a lot of us these days.
I have like a very select group. Like normally, because I work 2 jobs. I'm an electrician during the day, and at night I work at a supermarket. So I used to call into Let's Talk Jets every Tuesday. I used to chop it up with those guys. The supermarket, it was so chill that I worked at. It ended up shutting down. I guess it was a little too chill. They're like, hey, we're not making money. We're closing this thing down. So now I'm in like a much more strict store. So it's like I can't call in, but like I comment on your stuff. I comment on their stuff. So I'll watch them. I watch you. I watch Matt O'Leary, Ryan, and there's a couple other guys. If I see them floating around, I'll click it. But I kind of have like my main core of stuff that I watch. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So Gino, how you doing today?
Doing good. All the bad news happening, but I'm happy we got James Robinson now. That's going to be a big boost overall. I like him a lot, and I hope he does really well here with the Jets for 6th rounder. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
give it.
Yeah, why not?
Give it to me. So Green Bean, I have you on Mount Rushmore of content creators in the Jets community. You are one of my top. You're such a great guy. I love what you do for the Jets community and stuff. And so my question is, how did this all come from? Like, what made you want to get into content creation, social media, and everything else like that?
Well, first, let me just I want to comment on the 6th round pick. Is that really all we gave? Because the NFL thing that I got said picks. I was like, oh, picks.
So 6th and a 5th. 5th next year, probably, yeah.
And a 5th next year.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty sure you
sign me up for that.
Yeah, it is that.
It sucks because it's probably like a 1-year deal, though.
Yeah, we got to look at We need some deets. We need some details, right?
Yeah,
I got to know. Yeah. All right, we'll get there. This is brand new.
6th and a 5th. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, 6th and a 5th.
Yeah, James Robinson's a stud, though. Let's be.
Matthias is saying yes, 6. That could be a 5th.
Could be a 5th.
So it's a conditional pick. Okay.
Oh, so it's 1.
Could be a 5th. Looks like it.
All right, and there's Dom C. There's our boy Dom C. Green Bean Zone, greenbean.com zone. There he is.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So to answer your question, yeah, man. This is a bizarre turn for me. Truly, it is. Like, so I started making. I've been on forums for a long time. Like, I've been on the internet as a Jets fan since literally 1997. I worked at AT&T, similar to your supermarket story.
Nice.
AT&T, we were unionized, and there was a lot of people. So we had our job to do, but once you did your job, you could hang out. So I hung out, and so I would like. I never had a computer yet. Like I didn't have internet. It was all new to me, man. Like I didn't know anything. So there were computer guys here, so they would show me stuff, and I would just putz around on Netscape, and I'd go to Yahoo or whatever, and I go Jets, and there'd be people talking, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this. There's people. And so I just made this name. Like I was trying to find a name because I couldn't post without a name, right? So they said, so I was just, all right. And I tried everything. I'm like, I tried my real name, which is Kyle. And then there were like 10 Kyle 1164. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Oh, gotcha.
So then I just said, okay, the Jets are green. I typed in green, and then I just Bean. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Green Bean. So I've been online as Green Bean since like 1997. And when I've been on Jet Nation, like, so our boards closed down, Matt's board, just things change over time, and Matt's board kind of moved on, and lots of us moved in different places. I've been on Jet Nation since like 2009 or something. And the guy he needed a video guy. So his video guy whatever, and he left, and he said, hey, you know, I was a comedian before, so he said, hey, you know, you interested in making a video? I said, yeah, I'll make you a video. And I just put I put a iPhone on when I was driving. I talked about Lachlan Edwards, our punter.
Oh, wow.
Because he was having a career. He was having one of the greatest for like 3 games, like I don't know, in 2019. He was having a great year or whatever. But so I made a video and it was kind of funny. And he said, hey, would you want to make videos regularly? And I said, yeah, sure, I could do that. It took me 5 minutes. So I just did that. And through that, guys, like it got popular, like Truth, you know, like Jet Nation's YouTube went from like 1,500 followers to like 3,000 in a couple of months. And our videos went from 50 views to 2,000 views. And it was like, holy shit. So when I left on the RV tour, the show for Jet Nation was On the Road with Green Bean. And we knew that the road trip was coming, which is why we named it that. Okay. Now I had another channel called Full Time Coaster Tour, which is I was going to document, and I did, and it was mildly successful. But that's the one that I thought was going to be mine. Coasters, like roller coasters, family, living in an RV, all the stuff. And the Green Bean thing, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was talking with some guys, and they said, like, dude, why don't you just make your own? Like, why don't you do your own thing? And I did. And like, so December of this year will be 2 years that I've had my own channel. And it's like, I'm cruising to 10,000 subscribers. And it's like, you know, I got over 1 million views and all that stuff. And it's like, so it's sad to say I had to be real. And I was like, dude, the Green Bean thing I thought it was a joke. Like, honest to God, but that's the one that's popular in my coaster tour. I'm spending 4 hours editing each video. Nobody gives a shit. So it's like getting 180 views. I'm like, so I just closed that down. I'm hoping to still do something with that. It's still out there if anybody wants to go check it out. My videos are, in my opinion, fantastic. I believe that. But the Green Bean thing, it's just like, so here I am. And, you know, look, I've gotten to meet so many awesome dudes, you know, namely it started with Ryan and Matt, and obviously the guys at Jet Nation. I mean, I love Phil runs Jet Nation. I love those guys. Tyson Roush got his start at Jet Nation. Joe Blewett got his start at Jet Nation. So a lot of us kind of came out of there, and a lot of those guys, like, you know, I'm just happy to be able to meet them and guys like you, and then going to the game. It became this awesome thing that I sincerely dig, like on such a deep level. I can't believe it. I'm like, this is fucking awesome, man. So yeah, that's kind of the story, you know. That's how I got here.
That's really interesting, actually. I'm glad I got to know like the background. I've been like curious about that for like so many years. Like I thought you just came out of the womb and your name was Green Bean, and like, you know, you just the little baby Green Bean sat in front of a thing, watched Jet games. Now he talks about it. Like I thought that was you.
Yeah, right. Well, hey,
and then eventually, and then you got your driver's license. Now you drive an RV. Like I thought that's just how your life went.
It says Green Bean on my license, right? You know, I had somebody literally ask me that. It was only one person, only literally, and they were serious. And they asked me, this is true, why your mom really named you Green with a last name like Bean? And I said, what? Like, this is real, dude? Like, my name is Kyle Serecchia. Like, that's my name. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Green Bean.
Like, it's I would have just went with it, be like, yeah, I don't know what she was thinking, but you know, here I am.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, we takes all types, I suppose. We're all out there. There's a bunch of people thinking different stuff, you know.
It's just such a cool like fan base, and like, you know, like I really think that the Jets fans are like honestly like the most loyal Jets. Like we're the most loyal fans in the NFL. I seriously believe that. And
I believe that too. I do.
Oh, the lights are on now. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to put my little twinklers on, man. What am I thinking? Yeah. I got to get it to like this. I don't have my camera set up yet, but I want to do it so it's like, you know what I mean? So you don't see the end of them, but we'll get there, man. It's all new.
Yeah.
Forgot to.
Yeah, I saw you just had that built, right? Like I saw there was a bird flying around, and.
Well, yeah, I didn't have it built, Liam. I built it. Okay. You know what I mean? So this took me 3.5 months to build. Yeah, you see, we're doing the other side is for my son's channel, Metal Kid. You see the guitars on the walls and all that. Yeah. Drum set and all that shit. So we're not done, but that's where we're gonna jam because I'm a rocker, man. I'm a rocker at heart, bro. So I love that. My son's heavy, dude. Heavy metal, Teen Bean. But yeah, so yeah, I built this, man. It took me 3.5 months or so, coming in here an hour at a time, whatever I can, laying the floors, sheetrock, whatever, but I'm happy with
there you
it.
go.
It's my
Nice.
space. I finally got my space, man.
Yeah. Have you come up with a name for it yet?
I'm thinking the green room. What do you guys think? Like, welcome.
Because I saw like greenhouse and stuff like that. Like I'm hearing a couple things.
like
The green
that.
room is cool.
Right?
I like that.
Green room's
I
cool.
like that. The
Yeah,
green
I
room.
like that.
I'm open. I mean, it's nothing's in stone, but see, Matthias Simon, he still has a Facebook page called The Greenhouse. So I can't do that. I can't take it. You know what I mean? I can't just gut his baby. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
Right. And me and Matt, I think, listen to this. So when we were doing our first tailgate party for his forum, we had people from all over the country coming to the game to meet for his tailgate. And Alabama, Florida, all Utah, all over the place. They were coming in. So I went to his house. I hung out with his wife and his family, and we sat in his driveway. And we made this huge banner, this huge piece of green felt or whatever the hell it was. I don't know for what, some sort of tarp. And we painted "Welcome to the Greenhouse" on this thing. And we made it the perfect size to stick in the back of a pickup truck. So like the two holes in the back. So everybody that came into the stadium, we parked right at the gate. And everybody that came into the stadium saw this massive sign, "Welcome to the Greenhouse." Everybody beeped their horns and everything. And we did that for a couple years. Yeah, me and Matt, we just laid in his driveway and made it together. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
He just said something here.
The green room. Yeah.
Yep, I have the greenhouse.
Exactly.
Sounds like you're not getting the greenhouse.
Yeah, it's his. That's Matt's. Oh. That's Matt's. I respect that.
Yeah, exactly. So so how long have you been? I'm guessing you've been a Jets fan probably your whole life. So
yeah.
Do you remember like your first game? Like, do you have like a favorite memory at like the old Meadowlands or like MetLife Stadium? Like, do you have a favorite memory at like one of these? Like one that really stands out to you?
Yep, I remember my first game. Now, I used to be. This is interesting. So I've been a Jets fan my whole life, but before I was an actual fan, somebody bought me. I forget who it was. One of my uncles or aunts. They bought me an NFL football when I was like 5. And on the football, I don't know. They used to have like players' names, like their signature on it. Right. It was Earl Campbell, who still is one of my favorite backs. I mean, dude, if you never watched Earl Campbell, take a minute and watch Earl Campbell highlights. You're going to be like, holy shit.
Stud.
Yep. So for a little while, he was on the Houston Oilers. So for a little while, I used to say I was a Houston Oilers fan. And I liked the song, Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers. So I liked that. But so I wasn't really a fan. I just had a football. You know what I mean? That's all it was.
Yeah.
So my Aunt Gina, who pops in the streams a lot, she's a diehard Jets fan. She's the only one in my whole family. My whole family in Northeast New Jersey is Giants fans. All of them. The whole damn lot of them. Giants fans. And she was this lone Jets fan, and she took me under her wing. Like, she used to smoke some pot, you know what I mean, when I was little. She was like listen to rock and roll, and she would drive me around, and she was my like cool aunt.
She's a cool one. Yeah.
Cool one, man. And she liked the Jets. So she took me to this place in 1982 for the Super Bowl, the Mud Bowl, that it's now named, and it was a Jets Miami. And she was so excited. And the thing is, there were these 2 asshole Miami fans in the bar. We sat at the bar. And I drank scotch at 10 years old. No, so we sat at the bar and we watched the game, and the Jets just got killed. It was just an ugly, our quarterback Richard Todd threw 5 interceptions. That was the only points in the game. It was 14-0, I think, and they were pick sixes by our quarterback. So ugly game. But there were these 2 asshole Dolphin fans that just were downright cruel to my aunt throughout that process. Now, I had never watched a Jets game before, but I wanted to defend her so bad, but I'm 10. These guys are big, they got mustaches and stuff. To me, they're monsters. And I got so mad, which is why I hate Miami the most still today, I bet. I hate them. I hate the Dolphins. But these guys, like, I left there wanting so bad for the Jets to make them pay. I wanted those guys to hurt. Like that's what I wanted. So I left there that day. I was a diehard Jets fan, and then I don't know, you guys are young, but Hess, the gas station, used to,
Yep.
they used to own the Jets, so they
Leon
used to put
Hess.
out Jet
Yep.
stuff every year. So
Yep, I remember that.
right, so like that stuff all together, and then we were good. We had the sack exchange, so I was watching the 1983 and 1984. So it was that, but it really started at that game, man. Like that was it. I left that place. That I walked in like doot, 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 I didn't know shit, and I left there as a Jets fan. Like that's the truth. And I've been here ever since, But my favorite memory, dude. I mean, I have lots of them. I really do. Like, and a lot of them surround like tailgates. A lot of them surround like just games with old friends. Like a lot of us got together and guys I haven't seen in 20 years, 15 years. Like I miss that shit. I miss like getting together every Sunday in my buddy's den. Like we all would come and we from all over that, and we'd come to this one house and we'd watch the game. And I missed that. So I have really good memories on that side of things. But my favorite memory as a Jets fan, and it happens to be live and it happens to be at Giant Stadium, is the Monday Night Miracle, man. I mean, that game was unbelievable because I have a couple of really good friends of mine. So one, in fact, I still talk to regularly. I mean, like every draft we talk, we talk all throughout the football season. I talked to him a couple of days ago. He's a diehard Dolphins fan, and so he would come to the game with me every year. We always do it. We just go.
Right.
So I had two Dolphin fans and another Jets fan with me, and the Dolphins were kicking the shit out. It was embarrassing. It was painful, and I wanted to leave, but I didn't. The reason I didn't, not because I believed that the Jets were going to come back, because I didn't want to be a dick to my friends. I'm like, they can't make them leave when their team is, you know what I mean? Even though I'm miserable, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, no.
And what am I going to go pout and sit in the car? No, I don't want to be in here. So we stayed, and the whole stadium emptied out, man. There was probably 30% left, and most of them were Dolphins fans. True. It was like loud. They were having a great time. The stadium kind of turned teal, you know what I mean? Because all the Jets fans were gone. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, this comeback started. Lavernius Coles, Wayne Corbett, Vinny Testaverde, Curtis Martin, everything. It just started happening. And it became so real, so thick that the stadium filled back up. Like everybody ran back. I'm getting a chill. I shit you not. I'm getting that chicken flesh, as they say down here. I call it goosebumps in Virginia.
Yeah, that's what I call goosebumps.
Yeah, in Virginia, it's called the chicken flesh. I know. I'm in the country, man. So now it's chicken flesh. So I'm getting goosebumps right now, because when I looked around, like I realized, like, holy shit. And I grabbed my Jets buddy. I'm like, dude, they're coming back in. Like the people are parking their cars and running back into the stadium. And we got up to like, I don't know, 80% filled again. And it lasted till 1:30 in the morning. It was like the latest Monday night game ever. And it was like, and the fact that we pulled that off and won it. And that was, I believe that was 1998. That was like part of that season. And it was like unbelievable. I think it was 98.
Wasn't it 2000 or 2001?
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I'm like feeling like Lavernius Coles was there, so it couldn't have been 98. It was 2000. You're right. Here it is.
My dad was at that game. I've heard stories about it. He was saying he stayed, but like one of his buddies left, and I guess like I guess cell phones weren't really a thing back then. But like I guess his friend came back in, and like there was people like lighting fires in the parking lot, like bonfires were just going up, like there was a ton of fires out in the parking lot. My dad's like, I'm glad I stayed, and he goes, he talks about it all the time. It's like he was at that game too. So he goes, that's my favorite game I've ever been to. He goes, I wanted to leave, but it's just, he goes, I paid money, I wanted to stay.
Right.
But,
yeah, I mean, your dad and I had very similar feelings, and it's like for anybody who was there, it's the same story. Like anybody, they're like, oh, dude, that game, because it was magical. It was one of those magical, and we don't get those moments that often. Like, truth be told, like we're Jets fans, right? Like we're us. We can speak freely, right? We can be real with each other. The truth is, we don't get as many magical moments as the Chiefs or the Patriots or the Dallas Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have decades of these moments. We have a smattering. We have a few moments. And that was one of them, man. And that's my favorite moment. And I've been to a couple, I've been to the Jacksonville home playoff game. I've been to some really great
Okay.
games. I went to every game for like 7 years, and I went to like
Okay.
half the games. I was at that stadium, multiple times a year since I was like 13 till I was in my till 96 or whatever it was, 98. So
Yeah.
no, 2005. Jesus, that's when oh my God, I'm all over the joint. But anyway, yeah, so that's the big one. But I had a lot of great memories, man. Some of them with Matthias Simon, quite frankly. But that one is way up top.
Awesome, man.
Man,
Awesome.
Yeah.
man, I love that. Those stories are freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I know you've done a lot in the content creating in Jets community and stuff, and we appreciate all what you do for like charities and stuff and everything. I have a question about like the games when when you were tailgating like back in the day and now is it the kind of the same feeling tailgating back in the day, or is it keeps going up and up and up? Like start out a car. Now there's like big events tailgating.
Right.
Has that changed much from when you were like in grade school and high school, or is it just kind of you knew it was going to get better and better?
Yeah, it's very different, man. That's a very interesting question. I think that's the first time I've heard that question asked. I think that's interesting, Gino.
That is a good,
But
good.
yeah. It's like it was very different. Like let me speak honestly with you.
Hey,
Okay.
go for it.
Like,
Go
I
for
don't
it.
know if you guys know, like I'm sober now. I don't drink, I don't smoke crack, nothing. I don't smoke weed or any of that shit. But back then I did. I used to, right. So yeah, thank you. But back then I used to drink and all that stuff. But back then, like you said, now it's like there's these big events, like and it's like
Right.
there's a bunch of those, and they're all over the place, and there's these huge gatherings, and I have nothing against that. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. But back when I was doing it, it was much different. It was like more smaller get-togethers. Lots of football games in the parking lot. Like you would have a football and you would have like 3 or 4 tailgates around you, and you would their kids, and they'd go, hey, come on, and everybody was kind of cool. Not that doesn't happen, it does, but from my perspective, it doesn't feel that way anymore. It feels different to me. And the whole like weed thing, the reason I brought that up, I feel like now there's a little bit more of an oversight. Like they're looking, they're like, what's going on? Back in my day, like back then, I just felt I felt like it was looser. I felt like they were like, just whatever, man, just do whatever, just don't. And we didn't, and nobody hurt each other, and nobody caused pride. Every now and then you'd have an asshole, of course, but most of the time, like we didn't, it was just kind of peaceful. Now there was the Buffalo Monday night game, the game that caused Giant Stadium or the Meadowlands to stop serving alcohol after halftime. That was a bad one. I was at that game where we was flipping cars and everything else. It was bad. It happened. But like for me, and look, I'm not saying that now it's bad. I think it's really progressed in a way where you could just pay $50, show up at the stadium, and you have the best damn, like it's like they got food and there's games and there's shot girls and so that's really incredible. And I was at Gotham Cities 2 years ago, and I was at the Jet Lounges this year. You guys know I saw you there.
Yeah.
And that shit's awesome, man. Like, let's be real. And that wasn't available to us in the same way back then. It's progressed. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. Man, you know what it is, man? I have like nostalgic connections to the way it used to be. You know what I mean? That's all. But I think, but it's the same, but it's different. The one thing I can say is I only go to opening day now. Like I live far away. I lived in Florida for 15 years. I would always go to the Miami Jets game down there, and I would come up for opening day. And I still do that. I have to say that even though we've been terrible for that time, like the past 12 years have been miserable. And I feel as though the parking lot energy might be more intense these days. Like I don't know what that is. I feel it. And even though we walk in that stadium and we watch some of the worst football we've ever seen, all right, it sucks. But I feel like the energy in the stadium the last few years, maybe 5 years, is crazy in the parking lot. And then they haven't paid us off this year, but not opening day. But hopefully it starts to turn around and we can watch more home victories because I think the fans deserve it, man. You know what I mean? Honestly.
We do. We absolutely do. But just to touch on that tailgating part real quick, I think maybe it feels different because back then, like there really wasn't like the fan content creators. Like you had like your reporters and like the newspaper and this and that. But it's like now it's like guys like you, if you're going to the game, like hey, I'm gonna be in like like J12, like come stop by, and then this guy's
Right.
I'm gonna be here. So it's like people like want to go and like it's cool. Like they want to meet you. Like that's how like I'm close friends with Tyson and Kevin. From Let's Talk Jets. I'm at all their tailgates and everything. It's like we stopped by at Jet Lounge to see you and Matt and Ryan and like all those guys. So it's like I maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why it feels different. It's just like like the places to be now. Like certain
Yeah.
places are bigger than others, so you got to
That's a good
bounce around
point.
because it was Gino's first ever game. He's in St. Louis, so
Yeah.
he's like I gotta go. He's like I gotta meet
Yeah.
everybody. I gotta walk around the whole
Right. Okay.
stadium 4
Because you
times.
guys
I gotta
made
get
your rounds,
full
man. You guys
experience.
had pictures with everybody. I mean, I was like, holy
We did
shit.
get around.
Look at these
Yeah.
guys.
And
They were literally
dude,
everywhere.
And then
Hey, man.
I was drinking pretty hard at Tyson and Kevin's too. It's like he let me borrow a Klecko. I was just gonna wear a t-shirt and he's like, no, you got to wear the Klecko jerseys. I'm like, all right. Gino
Yeah.
doesn't drink, so I'm shotgunning like with Tyson and Kevin. I got covered in beer. It's like I'm like half in the bag, like stumbling around the stadium. I had a cooler, it kept falling over. The beer's falling out and picking them back in. I have rocks in there and everything.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, Gino, I put Gino through it, but yeah, we made it around the whole
All good.
stadium. I hope he got to see what he wanted. I wish we could have gotten there a little bit earlier, but we took the train, and train doesn't leave until
Yeah.
like 9:30. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well,
Dude, you guys did pretty damn well. I'm telling you, on social media afterwards, when I was like catching up, because I don't really like when I'm at the game, I don't really do what a lot of people do. I'm not on Twitter. I just stick my phone
right.
in my pocket and I watch the
Enjoy
game.
the
and I
moment.
hang out. Yeah, that's what I
Yep.
do. I like to do that. So afterwards, I was checking. And you guys tagged me in a few things, so I kind of saw. But through that, I literally was like, "Holy shit!" Like these guys,
Yeah.
they were with, and they were all over the stadium. Like it's not like we were all in the same area, man. Like those things are all over the place. Like Tyson,
I got my steps in. Yep.
right? Yeah, I stopped by Tyson and Primetime's tailgate the year before. We went over there and hung out with them. We also stopped by Fireman Ed's to see him. And then we went to Jet Nation, and then we went to we were at Gotham Cities for a while. So we do a little bit of that, but that was closer. You guys walked all the way to the other side.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Dude,
He didn't give me an option.
Let me tell you, man. Like people think, oh, it's a park, dude. It's not.
No.
Huge.
Close. It's far. It's massive, right, man? And this was the first time I saw they're tearing down the Meadowlands racetrack. I damn near shit myself. I was like, oh no! Like it looks like they're gonna build a new one, but dude, the memories I have in that building too. I was like, oh, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm glad. I didn't know you were in St. Louis, Gino. That's super cool, and good for you for getting to your first game, man. I'm glad that it was. I'm sorry that it was a loss. You know what I mean? That sucks. But I'm glad you got to kind of make your rounds like that. That's awesome sauce.
Well,
it's easy for me. Like, I'm on Long Island, so it's like I just LI double R, I'm right in, It's like I could drive every now and then, but like I just like to just even take the railroad, I'm literally right up the road from the train station. I could walk there, so it's like I might as well.
Yeah, I agree. Why do it?
Right.
And then, like you said, like if you have a couple drinks, you could just walk to the train and pour yourself in there, and you're going home. It's fine, like much better.
Well, we actually, me and my dad and my uncle has season tickets, and we went to the Bengals game last year on Halloween, and like my uncle normally goes. He has 3 tickets. It's him and then like his 2 sons that normally go. The sons had kids, so I had to take them out trick or treating. So my uncle's like, well, I'm going, So he's like, hey, you guys are big Jets fans. You guys want to come? My dad hired a driver from Long Island to this. It was like $200, and then he was like, it beats a D-Week, But he like let us drink in the car. We had our cooler right there, It's like bought the grill, we're grilling up flank steak and everything else. It was a great time, Wayne Corbett was there, Nick Mangold was there. They were making the rounds. It was
amazing,
a cool time, and it's like $200. It's better than 15,000. You leave that stadium, you had 4 beers, and next thing you know, you have a D-Wee.
That's right, or even worse, you crash. You hurt somebody.
Yeah, it could always be worse.
Too many people still today with all the options we have. Too many people have those drinks and think, fuck it, and they get in the car and
Yep.
something. Like you
That's
said, it's
it.
not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
No,
And I
not worth
fully support what you're. Yeah, $200 is up front. It's like I don't want to pay $200, but if you get that DWI on the back end, or you crash into a family or whatever, you're gonna be like, oh my god, $200 was nothing. I should have just did
Yeah.
it. Yeah, or
Yep,
take the
exactly.
train or whatever. Yeah, man.
Yep,
Good for you.
exactly.
But so like here's my story, Green Bean. I used to work for the Rams for 10 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
and so the tailgating there sucked because we sucked. It was bad. It was just really bad. They didn't get good until they went to LA. And for like the first like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, they were good instead because they won the Super Bowl here and everything.
Right.
But and then I worked for the Blues, and I was always at the playoff time too for a year and a half. And then I did like one away game for the Bills, and then the following year I did another away game for the Bills. Like we did like on field stuff. But for the Rams, what was funny was I was a flag guy for the Rams, and when the Jets were in town, I almost got fired for cheering for the Jets because no one knew that I was a Jets fan. So I'm here. Imagine I'm on the field. I'm a flag guy at the end of the end zone, and I'm literally like, yeah, oh.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
'cause-
epic, man. That's a fantastic. I love that, man. That's killer. But how do you, being in St. Louis, how are you a Jets fan? Like, you weren't a Rams fan from being the local team first?
Well, it was funny because my dad grew up a Cardinals fan, so my whole family grew up a Cardinals fan. Then they went to Arizona, so it was one of those things where now when the Rams came to St. Louis, yeah, he started to work for the Rams. My dad was a video guy for the Rams for about 25, 30 years. He went to London with them as well. He went to every single stadium except the new one, the new ones, like the latest ones. But it was interesting. I was a Rams fan. I like Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, but like I became a Rams fan a Jets fan through like these McFarlane figures. My dad would give me all kinds of these puppies, and it just video games. All my favorite players were on there: Curtis Martin, Joe Namath. Like I just grew up like that, and I never stopped. It was since I was nine. My dad always tells me, "I've gone wrong with you. I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing." So it was really funny. But yeah, that's how I became a Jets fan. I went to my first game in MetLife, and even though we lost, it brought me back to the Rams days. The Rams days when I was working for them. The losing feeling did not feel good, but overall tailgating and being there felt really good. But yeah, that's the story.
That's so, dude. That is epic. That is an epic story, man. Being on the field with a Rams flag, supposed to be like unity and part of the organization, and you're cheering for them. That's fucking killer. I haven't heard one.
I wish I had a cooler story. I was just born into it.
I know.
My crib at Jets Field.
You're just a run-of-the-mill Jets fan from Long Island. You're like Jeremy Rucker.
Yeah, I played against him in high school. Me and Jeremy, he's a year younger than me. Yep, I played it right at his high school, and he was a pretty big deal back then too. So,
well, dude, I was was the this was my podcast as episode 89. So I was digging into his high school stuff, and bro, his high school career was
Lindenhurst High School.
Yep, Lindenhurst. He was insane, and he played offense and defense as so many kids do in high school. But he was like dominant, man. He had like 3,000 yards.
Everyone knew him.
Yep, I can imagine. Like that's the thing. Like when you look at some kids and they're kind of good and they're okay, but then there's those other guys. You're like, that guy doesn't belong on the field with these people. He's better. He's going to Ohio State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like somebody goes, over to Little Rock, or whatever the hell, they go to William Patterson or something like that.
Something small,
Right, and then there's guys going to Ohio State or to Miami or whatever. Yeah, Rucker.
I remember because I played some tight end, and they had me on special teams because I wrestled and everything. It's like, oh, he could tackle, So I was like a little 126-pound kid, I'm like running down the field, and I don't know why I stop and I put my shoulder like I'm gonna like knock some kid over, So I have to the kid just keeps running and runs right through me, trucks me. I land flat on my ass. And I'm just like laying there for a second, and like Rucker's just walking by and like shakes his head and he's like laughing. I'm like, I had that one coming to me.
Yeah. Well, right, you did. Hey, it's part of the deal.
I don't know why I did, but little old me. I'm like I could take him out. I'm just gonna be like a brick wall for him, and I'm like 100 pounds. Just right over. Yeah. But so I'm glad that we got to know you a little bit and everything. So now comes to the part of the show that, what are you thinking now with the Jets? You know, it's like it's been a fun story. Do you think the storybook fairy tale continues with the New York Jets, or what are you thinking?
Well, it depends on what we're really looking at here. I mean, like, see, Jets fans are nuts, right? And we're deprived. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, like, it's like all of a sudden we're a Super Bowl team. Like, dude, we sucked for 12 years. We won
Right.
4 games last year. Before this season, most of us were saying 7 to 9 wins, and it's a resounding success. We want to know that Saleh can get the team to play. We want to know that LaFleur can be among the better offensive minds, that he can out-scheme people. We want to know that Ulbricht isn't a complete piece of shit and knows how to call a damn game. We want to, you know what I mean? We want to know that our draft picks are going to bloom. You know, the Sauce Gardners, the last year's class, and we want to know what's going on, and we want to see progress on the level where we know that if we continue to move this way, we're going to have something. We win a few games, and it's like now if you know, it's like we get a couple injuries and people are like, oh, you know, like, oh man, I thought we were going to go to the Super Bowl. It's like, well, maybe we were. I don't know. Maybe we are. I don't know. But I think my expectations haven't changed. Now, I think the fact that we won as many games up front, now winning 7 games for the rest of the year would be disappointing. So I'm with that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Winning 2 more the rest of the season would be a blow, because that shows a collapse. You know what I mean? So now that's bad. But if we come out of this with 9 wins, like, and we missed the playoffs, or is it not a success anymore because we won games on the front end instead of the back end where we thought we were going to, like, I don't know. For me, I'm still level. Now, look, I've been around too, man. I've been watching this shit for a long time. So I'm just like, all right, everybody calm down. Like, we haven't had more than 2 or 3 years of goodness together ever. You know, when Parcells were here, we had 2 good years. You know, Rex Ryan, we had 2 good years. Herm Edwards, after Parcells, he had like 3, 4 that were kind of good. Mangini had 2 out of his 3 year. So it's like, what I really want, guys, I don't want to be the Cinderella team that has a big splash like our 2015 Jets, and then nothing happens, and then we collapse. I want to see and believe that what these guys, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, LaFleur, Boyer, Ulbricht, and the rest, are building something that we're going to be able to be competitive for 5, 6, 10 years, maybe even longer. I'm sick of the basement. I'm sick of it. So for me, man, I'm still just as excited. We played a sloppy game against a team that has kept every team under 20 points all year. We scored 16. You know, they haven't given up a touchdown since week 2, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. So they haven't given up. So why are we bad? Because we did the same shit everybody. We're talking about the Chargers, man. Justin Herbert couldn't score on that defense.
Yeah, nope.
So why do we suck all this? Like, dude, I had to talk like 10 guys off the ledge last night. I can't believe, dude, we went in, we lost 4 starters, JFM, ABT, Brees Hall, Corey, guys that are focal points to our team. We lost Elijah Moore. Don't forget about that. So we went into this game without Elijah Moore. We lost a bunch of other guys. We lost ABT early. We lost Corey Davis early. We lost Brees Hall before the second half. And then we lost JFM a little bit later. But, dude, we scrapped, we kicked, we clawed, and we fucking won, dude. These are the games that we lose, and we have a million excuses. And on Monday, we're saying, but, you know, dude, come on. You know, we're doing all that stuff. Dude, we won. Zach didn't look good. But guess what? In the fourth quarter, guess what Zach did again? He settled down, and he was good enough. Like, that's what he did. And I say, I've said it all year. If we're going to pick one quarter where our team is going to be lights out, if I'm going to pick one, it's going to be the fourth quarter every time.
I agree.
We're leading the league in points in the fourth quarter. Like,
agreed.
When the hell has that happened?
Never.
So Right. So now, granted, I would much rather see 4 quarters of good football. I would.
Yeah,
Right.
But this is a young team. Zach is undefeated. Sometime, look, not necessarily all because of him, but he's not giving the game away. He's not turning the
right.
ball over. He's
He's not
giving us
losing the game for us.
He's not losing the game. And
Right.
the team is buying in to the extent that if Zach doesn't lose the game while he gets his feet under him and the offensive line kind of settles down, like, dude, that's the thing. You got to remember, this offensive line has not even played 2 weeks. Like, there's not been the same lineup for more than 2 weeks all season yet. So we got to factor that in. The fact that we're going into Green Bay and kicking the living snot out of the Packers in Lambeau, and then following that up with pulling out a victory in an ugly, just nasty defensive game. Like me, I'm tickled. Now I hate the injuries, man. That's a gut punch. It really is.
Yep.
I mean, especially Brees and ABT. I mean, they're the 2 guys that you think can be all pro level, and they're gone.
Yeah, the building blocks.
Completely gone. Completely gone.
Sucks.
See, like, in my opinion, like, what's different from this team compared to like the 2015 or like the Rex years is like these are all the young guys doing this. Like, this isn't a team full of veterans that like is gonna collapse in the next 2 years because everyone's gonna be getting paid, and like you have this diva that's over here and he needs $20 million and this guy needs $100 million, so they're all gone. Like, these are all young guys on the rookie contracts. In a couple of years, this team's gonna be expensive, but it's like we're hitting on all of our draft picks and we're actually seeing tangible results that we haven't like. Everyone said like it was a lot of moral victories last year. It's like, oh, Zach didn't throw an interception in the fourth quarter. Like, that was his moral victory. But it's like this year, you know what? He's not throwing any interception during the game. It's like Quinn Williams, he's still a young player. He's breaking out. AVT's playing lights out all over the offensive line. Brees Hall is looking like an all-pro running back, and he's only a rookie. So it's like, I think, in my opinion, like, obviously those guys are out now, but it's like, in my opinion, that's like what the big thing is. Like, even Garrett Wilson, he came out yesterday. It's these young, first, second, even third-year players that are really showing out. It's not these veterans. It's like the LaMarcus Joyners, like the Jordan Whiteheads. Like, Joyner's doing all right now, but it's like overall, like they're really not the ones like impressing us. It's like it's Sauce Gardner, it's Garrett Wilson, it's Brees Hall. So it's like, in my opinion, it's all of like these young guys. They're like, this is the core of the team. This is the young nucleus that we've all been wanting for the last couple of years. How many times had McCack, D. Milner? It's like I could go on and on about and so can you, about all these draft picks. These guys aren't 4 or 5 years later. They're not even in the league. So it's like that's to me what is most exciting about this. Like, Zach is still coming on to his own. It's like there's gonna be like all of this success. We're kind of ignoring that there's gonna be some bumps in the road. There's gonna be some roadblocks. Zach's not gonna be perfect, So like, in my opinion, that's what it comes down to, and it's just all these young guys coming together. I think for me, that's the most exciting thing.
Dude, you're nailing it, man. I mean, like the last time we were good, okay, which was 2015. This is the last time.
Yep.
It was Ryan Fitzpatrick having a miracle season. It was Brandon Marshall in his 15th year in the league. It was Eric Decker, whose injuries were starting to pile up, and he was only going to be in the NFL for like another year and a half after that, I think it was. So we had Chris Ivory, who I loved, but he was a guy who couldn't seem to stay on. So it was this collection of like mercenaries. It was Revis at the end of his career. It was Cromartie. It was Marcus Gilchrist at the end of his career. It was all these guys that this was not sustainable. If this happened, it needed to happen now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it clearly didn't. We had 10 wins, but it didn't happen. You're nailing it. What's happening right now is we are winning. And the fact that we're a fourth quarter team, man, that's the trait of a veteran team. That's the Patriots. That's Tom Brady. That's Ben Roethlisberger. When the fourth quarter comes, all the games get put aside and they win. We're doing that as a young team. It's predominantly first and second year guys. Shit, even our vets, DJ Reed is 25. Whitehead, like most of these guys are young. Like even the guys we brought in, like Joe Douglas, is not doing it the same way, man. Dude, the guy we brought in today, he's 24 years old, James Robinson.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh, dude, I'm just getting all excited now to see.
Dude, but that's the truth of it. And you nailed it. Like, dude, these guys, like Sauce Gardner, we have him for the next 5 years No question. No, he can hold out. He can do whatever would happen. He's ours.
Elijah Moore, yeah.
He can pull some shit, right? But then whatever happens with Elijah Moore, dude, Joe Douglas is going to handle this. Whether it's a trade or he sits him down and spanks him, whatever it's going to be. Joe Douglas, he's not one to overreact. He's going to go, all right, relax, man. Fuck him. You know what I mean? He'll figure
you're
it
right.
out.
Yep.
He's like, hey, man. He's like, all right, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Let's go into Denver, kick their ass. We left Denver with a victory. Now Elijah Moore's camp is going to say, look at your offense, how inept it was. Again, it's not Elijah Moore, man. That's what Denver does. That Denver has done that to every single team. Now you look, it's the Colts, it's the Chargers. I mean, I forget. There's a list out there. But the only guy that did well was week 1, Geno Smith. That's it. I mean, like Matt Ryan threw for 250, but he also threw for 2 interceptions. So, Denver has done that to everybody. The highest point scored against them is 20 points. And we were right there, 16. And people said, they missed a field goal. They missed an extra point. Dude, I still only 4 points. We still didn't buy a field goal. Whatever. I don't want to hear it, man. Like, we went in there. We knew it was going to be ugly. We had injury after injury. We had drama, and we won. And that's the difference with this team. They're a fourth quarter team already as a young team. Dude, we got nothing but up left. Ruckert hasn't even gotten on the field. Jamie Sherwood hasn't even gotten on the field. Like, we still got young guys waiting. Yaboa. Like, we have so many young, talented kids they're not even on the field yet. We got them developing. That's the biggest problem I have with the Jets for 20 years. I said, if one guy goes down, we got nobody. That team, he would spend $40 million on Tremaine Johnson, and Tremaine Johnson decides to, I hurt my finger, I can't play. And who's there? We got an undrafted free agent who sucks coming in, running. His eyes are all big. Oh my God, I'm on the field. He didn't.
I didn't think I was going to get here. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have guys like Bryce Hall, I know some Jets fans don't like him. It is what it is. The truth is he's starting on 50% of the teams in the NFL. Okay. He's not starting here, whatever it is, DJ Reed and Bryce Hall. I got no qualms. I'm a Bryce Hall fan, but the truth is he's an NFL caliber cornerback. Maybe not top tier, but he's an NFL caliber. He's a quality cornerback. Dude, he's not even active on this team. And that's what we have to remember. So we're seeing this whole thing change. We're developing guys. We're hitting strides with our picks. You brought up D. Milliner. Dude, D. Milliner. I mean, it goes Calvin Pryor. It goes.
I could have. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we didn't
spend an hour talking about that.
We didn't even get anything out of our first round picks. Now we're getting things out. We're getting quality out of our 5th and 6th. And it's amazing, man. 4ths. Look at Michael Clemens and Max Mitchell before he went down. And, dude, we're hitting everywhere. Brandon Eccles. It's crazy, man. Jamie Sherwood, he's not making it onto the field on the defense, but he's crushing it on special teams. Crushing it. So, these are the guys. Like, when they get on the field, they play their role and they do it. Elijah Moore is the anomaly, at least so far. But it's exciting, man. I don't know why a Jets fan would be upset. Now, some guys are looking at Zach and saying, and I'm with you. I've shared.
I am too.
I'm not happy with this Zach Wilson. Why can't you make the easy throws that parking lot quarterbacks can make? I can do that. I can. Don't people say, it's different on the field. Bullshit. I've been playing football my whole entire life. If you give me 5 big, ugly monsters to block for 3 seconds, me, and right there, I can do that. I'm telling you, I'll hit them. 99 out of 100 times. I will make that pass. Why can't Zach Wilson hit that? What is it? So I don't know. But am I out on him? I'm not out on him. He does enough. Right. In the fourth quarter, he's winning. Dude, he's figuring it out in the fourth quarter, and he's getting us there in position to win games. And until he gets it right, I'm fine with that.
Hey, I love that. And it's also one of those things to add to what you're doing is, we couldn't beat the teams that are awful right now. The Packers, the Broncos, their chemistry is way off. And the Miami Dolphins, the difference between this team and the team 5 years ago, 3 years ago, is we have a chance to pounce on these teams that suck. We couldn't do that. Jets team hasn't done that in a very long time. And the fact that we can do that now is mind-boggling to all Jets fans, you, me, Liam. it's like there's no way we could have saw that happen. Even with the Patriots, Patriots kind of like around the same record as we do. It's going to be an ugly game, but I think we can still win that game. When's the last time we can say that? We haven't said that in a very long time.
Nope.
So I agree 100%. Now, sorry, were we going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I literally was going to say, I agree, man. That's all I was going to say.
All good. So, sorry. So my next question is going with the offense, right? We've talked about the wide receivers, talked about Brees Hall, the O-line. I'm going to go more the defense side with Ulbrich. I know Ulbrich has been up and down the whole season, but he's been a little bit consistent lately. Now, you've played football. How long you played football for?
My whole life.
Whole life. Do you like the way Ulbrich is running his defense, and especially the front four? What's your comments on that?
I'm going to say yes. Now, and I was very critical of Ulbrich. I hated last year, and I didn't like how we started this year. It looked like he was just going to roll out the same thing as last year. But here's what I have to commend, and I'll give them this on LaMarcus Joyner as well.
Right.
There is credit that is deserved for people who do not succumb to the panic, right? And they stay the course. They believe in what they're doing. They know it's going to work in their heart. And they just keep going. They keep pushing forward, and they're getting eggs thrown at them, and everybody all insults and boo, fire them, and they just keep going, and it starts to work. There's credit that's deserved for those guys, and I respect that, because I am one who's known for like, hey, calm down, patient, let it roll, let give them time. I've eaten more crow on that side, right? But even I have to admit, this year around week 3, I was like, guys, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're in trouble. The Salah thing, I'm taking receipts. I'm like, oh, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. I was thinking. All right. That's the honest truth. That's and anybody can go find it. I was saying I can't change it now, like Brady Quinn. So, and I never said that bullshit. We have you on tape. You know what I mean? So, like, but I have to say, like, my favorite defense. I have 2 favorite Jets defenses. One was clearly the sack exchange, right? But the other one was in the 90s. We had a 4-man front. And we played a 4-3, and we had guys like Jeff Lageman and Marvin Washington on the ends, and we had Dennis Byrd and Scott Mercereau on the inside, and they were backed up by Kyle Clifton, one of my favorite players, Mo Lewis, and Bobby Houston, Joe Kelly. We had a few guys there, but we were nasty. And the reason that and then we had James Hasty and it was like we had amazing defense. That's my favorite Jets team. And the reason that it worked was because Dennis Byrd, Marvin Washington, and even Jeff Lageman were almost unstoppable. You couldn't stop all of them every play. Somewhere, one of them was breaking through, and all you needed was them, 4 men. And you put your 5 linemen, and then when they were so impactful, when you sent a blitz, it worked. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're already having their hands full with your 4 guys. What I see right now is it's starting to bloom with guys like obviously Quinnen Williams, who, I mean, dude, he's gotten better every year. Anybody who was an anti-Quinnen guy, I mean, I don't understand it. I'm like, now granted, he was the 3rd overall pick, so he's been disappointed. That I'll sign on for that. But he's gotten better every single season. And then you look at this year, and he's damn near dominating the NFL, right? He's like one of arguably the best defensive tackle in the NFL. And so when you add that to, and it's said Jermaine Johnson hasn't played, but he was having a good season. Carl Lawson, he's having a great season. Then you get, JFM and Bryce Huff, they're having good season. Like when you can create havoc with 4 guys, everything gets more simple, because then you don't need to utilize other resources and disguise things on the back end because you're taking a risk. You know what I mean? So I love it. Like I always say, like if we can get this 4-man front to work, then it's going to be nasty. And then when you add cornerbacks like Sauce and DJ Reed, like shit, man, they can shut down damn near anybody. It's crazy. Yeah. And then you add Michael Carter the second. I mean, so we have a cornerback, we have a defensive backfield that includes Joyner and Whitehead. They can give our line an extra second. They can do it. But in the same way, our defensive line can make it easy on them too. You know what I mean? So like, dude, it's really working, man. And I think the sky's the limit. Like, again, Sherwood's not even on the field yet. And I believe in that kid. I think he's going to be a nasty son of a bitch.
Agreed.
But look at Quincy Williams. And I don't know, man. I think Ulbricht, at this moment, we should be saying, you know what, dude? Good job. Good job, man.
Agreed.
That's what I think. I think we gave him enough shit. And when it's turned with the other side, you got to say, you know what? I jumped the gun. And you're doing a good job, bro. That's how I feel about that.
Agreed.
I agree with that 100%. Like I couldn't have even said it any better.
Well, I'm wordy. I know. Sometimes my answer is like
45 minutes.
You're like, okay, that's the end of the show. He gave.
Don't worry about it.
I do have one more for you. Actually, I have two more if you have the time. The first one. So the chat all night, I'm like reading. It's going crazy about this whole James Robinson thing. My friend is actually a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. He just texted me. So I see the Jets are getting James Robinson from my Jags. So do you like the trade? Do you see Joe Douglas making more moves now, like with all these injuries, or like what do you think? Do you trust the depth, or like what are you thinking moving forward with these guys with the lack of with the starters going down, I should say?
Well, here's what I'll say. I think, look, and I'm going to point to a comment in the chat, if I may. Dom C.
Yeah, go for it.
Dom C. There's a lot of good comments, but this one by Dom C is great. He says, let this sink in. JD just got a 24-year-old replacement who is a restricted free agent next year, so can be kept on the cheap for Blake Cashman. That's really what it boiled, because I guess that's the 6th round pick. Either way, we got that 6th round pick for Blake Cashman. So essentially, Joe Douglas just traded perpetually injured Blake Cashman. He had like 7 or 8 injuries in 3 years that he was here. We just traded Blake Cashman for an honest to goodness stud who's 24 years old. Restricted free agent next year. So either we're going to get something for him or we're going to be able to control him to some extent, right? We know that. I have to look at the actual details, but that's such a great point. So what Joe Douglas just did was he went out there, he saw the issue, because Michael Carter, dude, let's make this said, right? Like, let's make this point. Michael Carter is one of my favorite Jets, if not my favorite Jet right now. Michael Carter, the running back. I love him. And his talent,
one of my favorites.
Right? He's an absolute stud. I love him. I love everything about him. I love his personality. I think he's just the best. But he's always been next to another running back. Like, he's always kind of tag teamed it all through college.
Right. Yeah, Williams. Yeah.
Right. So the idea that we're just going to let it roll with him. Now, I was thinking maybe you re-sign Tevin Coleman. Maybe you elevate Bam Knight and you just say, okay, kid, it's your time to shine. And you do Bam and Michael Carter. But the fact that he went out, he saw the hole, he saw the opportunity. The Jags are moving into ETN town, right? That's where they're going. They used the first on him last year. Clearly, this is the direction they want to go. And he saw the opportunity. And he pounced. It wasn't a panic move. We didn't go give them a second. We gave them a 6th. That could be a 5th if James Robinson lights it up and is one of the best, whatever the guidelines are in the deal. So if he's really great, we give you a 5th. Big whoop. You know what I mean? So now, do I think Joe Douglas is going to panic otherwise? No, but I would bet we're going to probably bring in a guard. Like we brought in Mike Remmers and we brought in Aboye, and we're going to get Fant back soon, and we still have Max Mitchell, and I don't know what we do there, if somebody has to get pushed off the roster. But look what he did with the tackle position, right? So it took a few weeks, but he bolstered it. You know what I mean? He bolstered that. We got Dwayne Brown back and all that. So I fully expect him to bring in a guard. unless they really like somebody on our practice squad. Who's still here? We got Feeney. He's a guard center, but he's really the backup center. He kind of sucks at guard. He's better at center, oddly.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know who else. Who else
I
do
can't
we
even
have?
think of.
So like we cut McDermott and Herman, so we don't have them anymore. So we got
Well,
Feeney,
McDermott's on the
Cedric.
on the practice squad.
They
They brought him back to the practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put him on the back practice squad, but I don't see them elevating him anytime soon.
Yeah, well, he's a
But
talent.
that's
Right.
Yeah, they could.
So, yeah. So you said Feeney, so Cedric, and then we just elevated Remmers. So Remmers is on the
He's a
team now.
tackle as well. Right.
Yeah,
Now, maybe what Remmers has played guard. He played guard for almost a full season. So maybe he's the backup guard and we don't need to do anything. Maybe they like that. But I still expect, even if it's in a practice squad capacity, I expect a guard to be brought in. Now, if he's going to go poach someone, there's probably all sorts of sexy guards on teams' practice squads, but in that he liked in the draft and didn't get to. Now, if he pulls one in, if you sign somebody off a practice squad, they got to go onto your active roster. So maybe he does that. With AVT out, you have a spot. Right. So if it's not Remmers playing guard, you can go out there. I think we're going to bring a guard in. That would be my guess. But I don't see it in like a panic style,
That's fair to say. I mean, I'm happy about this too, because it seems like we're not mailing in the season. Like Joe Douglas sees like, all right, there's a little bit of a hiccup, but we need to keep these guys bought in. So, like, we need to keep, if somebody goes down and there's somewhere to like upgrade a position while there's an injury, hey, we're here to do it. So obviously, he liked Robinson. No, it's okay. He liked Robinson more than like a Ty Johnson or maybe even like a Bam Knight. It's like, excuse me, we didn't know. Like we thought we were just gonna roll with Ty Johnson and maybe Bam Knight. Like as like the 1-2 punch of Michael Carter. So there's always that. So obviously he sees that there was and James Robinson is an upgrade to Ty Johnson. Let's be honest. Like that's no secret.
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
like that's the big thing. That's the big thing for me. It's like, all right, like it gives us something to look forward to. So this is kind of completely like not completely off topic, but kind of off topic. What do you think is going to happen in the future now with Elijah Moore? Like he rejoined the team today. Do you think we trade him or does he stick around? Obviously, Salva said that they have no intentions on trading him, but I take that with a grain of salt. They've not really been the honest most people,
No.
So
they don't show their hand, man. They don't show.
No, they don't.
Now, do you guys want to hear something? Now, I don't know how solid this information is. I shared it on my stream yesterday, but I'll tell you. No, I didn't. I shared it in private. I'm going to share this with you guys. You ready? Okay. No, I haven't. I've only told my Patreon people. So you guys are first to hear this. All right.
Wow. This is juicy.
Yeah, it is. It's good. So here's what I was told. And I have all kinds of sources out there. Some of them are good. Some of them are complete dog shit. So, but this one is telling me this. And this is a guy who doesn't give me stuff often. All right. So he told me that he has a connection to Elijah Moore's family, mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And what he learned was that after the Green Bay game, Elijah Moore's agent called him and said that the Chiefs and the Packers have expressed interest. Now, not tampering style interest, but they just expressed they would like a receiver like Elijah Moore. They'd be willing to trade for somebody with Elijah Moore's skill set. Now, you look at the Packers, right? They're not going to screw over the. I mean, that's Matt LaFleur. It's Mike LaFleur's brother. It's Robert Saleh's best friends. So it's not going to be on the shady side. But the Packers and Chiefs, two offenses that more than likely Elijah Moore would explode in. Andy Reid would, Elijah Moore would fill the Tyreek Hill mold. Roll.
Yeah.
Without question.
Absolutely.
So what happened was, per this person, was when the agent, who, by the way, we made the videos last week, Tory Dandy, three of his, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, they all made waves last year, and they all got paid. And even AJ Brown got traded to the 6-0 or whatever. I don't even know if they won that list this week, whatever. But the Eagles are flying high, no pun intended. Yeah. And he got paid. He got 4 years, $100 million, dude, $25 million a year. So that agent, he's a little bit licking his chops a little bit, saying if I get Elijah Moore over to the Chiefs or with Aaron Rodgers, then when it comes time for him to get a contract, it'll be bigger than with this team who's using him like a decoy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then Elijah Moore got the stars in his eyes, got the money, the dollar signs, and wanted to shoot his way out of town to go get to the Chiefs. So that's kind of what was said. Now, again, I don't know how solid that is, but it feels like
I could see it.
Right?
I could see it.
I could see it.
Hands down.
Yeah,
So
there's a foundation to that. Like that's something I could stand on. That seems reasonable.
It's logical to me.
I don't like to hear that, but it seems like it's logical.
Right. So now JD and Robert Saleh have a decision to make. Do they succumb? And do they tell people, hey, if you want to get out of here, all you got to do is stomp your feet, kick and scream, bitch and moan, make a burner account on Twitter, make an asshole out of yourself. You know what I mean? And then we'll give you whatever you want. So, so you can do that, or you can say, dude, we got you for 2.5 years. You better man up, kid, because we're not sending you anywhere. You're going to go out there and you're going to play your balls off. Or if we see you taking plays off or whatever, we're going to deactivate your ass. And, we can literally teach this kid a lesson for life right now. And we can keep a clearly very, very talented young player. Or we can go, if somebody says, I'll give you a first for him, you go.
You got to take that.
You know what? I'm going to take that first. I'm going to take it. So I think that's exactly what I think. Joe Douglas and Saleh more than likely will tell him, shut up and play because we own you for 2 years. Don't forget, Elijah Moore, dude, he's chump change. He's second round pick contract. It's nothing.
He's making no money.
Nothing. So I think that has very high value. But if somebody comes in, if Andy Reid comes in, who they have the relationship. They made the trade last year. They almost made the Tyreek Hill trade this year. They had the agreement in principle. So the relationship's there. And obviously the relationship with Green Bay's there. If either one of them says, hey, I'll give you our next year's first round pick, I think that Joe Douglas will take it. That's my thought.
I agree.
No,
I mean,
I agree with that 100%.
A first or second, I think you have to make that trade. But like, I don't know. It's like I kind of feel like they didn't honor like the Denzel Mims trade. And they don't have to honor that. Like, it's not even like a contract year for Elijah Moore, So it's not like I need to go get paid like right now. It's just like the way he went about it was just weird. Like I believe like that what you're saying has credibility to it. It's just like this isn't like week 14 and we're like 1-13, something like that. Like we're not something crazy. So it's just I don't see it happening.
The timing was piss poor, bro. The worst possible timing. Now, there was the other report that Corey Davis, CJ Mosley, and Sauce Gardner went and talked to him as a group. They went and talked to him. So maybe that would be good. It's Corey Davis, obviously, and then CJ Mosley, leader of the entire team, and then young buck Sauce Gardner, who put out that Bible quote.
Right.
I mean, come on. Sauce isn't fucking around, man. Sauce like, dude.
Sauce isn't a rookie, dude. He's not he's not playing like a rookie.
He's wise beyond his years, right? And
Quinnen's post too.
That's right. Quinnen's post, right? It's like it's crazy, man. It's like the Jets are saying, like, dude, stop it. We have now 4 straight wins. The ball's going to come. Relax, man. And if it doesn't, by the end of your tenure, then you figure it out then. Or like you said, if we're 1-13 and you want a Jamal Adams because you're depressed and I can't handle it, I'm so sad. If that's what it is, and you're going to use the term depression, which millions of people actually have, and you don't, you're just a crying bitch who can't fucking figure out how to own your own situation. But so it's like, that's a different scenario, man. Adam Gase, the whole thing. Dude, we got a great young team. Everybody's buying in. We're winning games we shouldn't win. And you're going to cry?
Right.
Bad form.
I understand, like, he obviously wants more touches. Like, that's understandable. Like, that's the competitive nature in him. Like he's like, listen, like I'm talented, I need to be used more. But like I was telling this to Gino last week, it's like obviously like we don't think the Jets are obviously going to the Super Bowl this year, but we all think it's fair to like playoffs is fair to say. So looking back, like let's say they do win the Super Bowl. Like let's just get crazy here for a second.
Right. I'm in. Let's go crazy. I'm in.
Right. So let's say like a couple years now, like we're looking back, and this whole Elijah Moore thing never happened. The Jets in 2023 win the Super Bowl. We're saying like, oh, like that was a great team. You know, you have Garrett Wilson in his rookie year, he balled out. Zach, you know, he figured it out. Like all this great shit is like just coming together. We're not going to be looking back on that and saying, you know what? Well, Elijah Moore didn't get enough carries that year. Like Elijah Moore really didn't contribute. Like we're going to see Elijah Moore and be like, you know what? He was on that great team. He contributed when he needed to. He put the team first. And now for the better of the team, we all have something that we could all enjoy. He's going to have that ring. Or even like, let's go back to even if it's just like a playoff win. Like, you know, we're going to say that's the best team that the Jets have had since 2010. So it's like, he's a building block here for the future. Now with Breece Hall out, the running game is not what it was. Maybe it will continue with that with Robinson, but I really think in that Denver game we would have seen a lot more of him. I don't think Denzel Mims gets activated. I think that those reps go to those limited reps would go to Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore would have had a bigger role, but that's just what I'm saying. It's like if something really good comes out of this season, which I really think it can. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's realistic, but you know, it's not out of the realms. I mean, we've seen other teams do it, so it's not the craziest thing to think of. But I'm just saying, if Elijah Moore's drama never happens, and we're looking back on this, one of the vocal points here isn't, oh my God, Elijah Moore didn't have enough carries that year. Elijah Moore didn't have enough touches.
Right.
We're gonna say no, like he's a pivotal point of this offense. I think that's fair to say.
That's very fair to say. And, you know, and I like to, you know, I was talking about it this week, you know, another show that I listen to because they have an audio version. I can listen more to podcasts than I can watch YouTube. And that is Cool Your Jets, you know, the JetX.
Yep.
Show.
I know them.
I love that show. And this week, Robbie Sabo came on. I'm a big Robbie Sabo fan. You know, I've liked him for long, even before JetX. I've been listening and watching Robbie. But so he came on and he talked about the specifics of our offense. And he said that in this offense, the slot receiver is more than just a slot receiver. It's kind of the point guard of the offense.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And a lot runs through the slot. The slot has to do certain things that if it's not precise and to the letter, then the other things that are happening don't work. All right. So when Elijah Moore, we're wondering why he's on the outside so much. We're like, what the hell's LaFleur doing? He's a slot receiver. What Robbie was saying, and I don't mean to speak for him, and I'm paraphrasing, but what he insinuated was that Garrett Wilson and Berrios currently are playing the slot position better and more precisely than Elijah Moore. So that's one of the issues. So Elijah Moore wants to be a slot, but Garrett Wilson and Berrios are better at it. Even which is crazy because I thought Elijah Moore, the way I look at him, as this surgical precision route guy, super hard worker, detail oriented. And maybe he is, but for whatever reason, the Jets see Garrett Wilson and Berrios as more able to run that just instrumental position than Elijah Moore right now. So Elijah Moore feels like he's being misused, but Garrett Wilson's better than him at the role. That maybe he wants. Now, I don't know 100% how accurate that is. That's Robbie's take, but it's interesting when you think about it that way. So if the Jets are saying like, look, dude, you know, Garrett Wilson and Berrios are doing better at that role that you want, you know, then maybe Elijah Moore being a little bit jealous, you know, he's seeing the rookies taking his stuff and he's thinking like, I got to get out of here. Because I'm never going to get that role. They're going to keep sending me down the sideline in the X, and I can't do that. That's not my strong suit. You know what I mean? So there's a lot there. There's a lot there when you look at it, you know, from an offensive schematic perspective. It's not quite as simple as we see it. Now, that still doesn't change the fact that he's handling it so wrong, so incorrectly.
So
But
no, he is.
Like if he's looking at this, like, dude, I'm 3 layers deep on being able to make an impact here. And so maybe he just doesn't see it with the Jets. And that would be unfortunate because it's my opinion that they should be able to find ways to use him. They
I
should be
agree.
getting the
Oh,
ball.
absolutely.
I don't care what it
Absolutely.
is. You got to find ways. And I feel the same way about Mims. Like, how come we're the only damn offense that can't figure out how to use a 6'3", 4'3" speed, high jumping? Why can't we figure that out? So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have. Now we're winning. So I don't complain for wins. If it's working, it's working. Just because I think one thing doesn't mean it is what it is. But
Right.
I think that the Elijah Moore thing is interesting. And I really wonder where it's going to go. My hope is that it all just settles down. He apologizes. We move on, and they throw him a bone. Give him that game where he's the focal point. Let him shred,
Right.
and then see where it goes from there. That's my thought on it.
That's fair. That's more than fair. That's like a perfect world scenario right there, I think. So I really appreciate that.
I like that.
Gino, well, Green, you don't even know this. Gino, do you see what we just did?
Yeah, we hit 200 subs.
We just hit our 200th sub. We just
There
hit a
you
goal.
go.
That was a goal of ours.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right
We're happy
on,
for that.
man.
Thank you.
Right
Thanks,
on.
guys, for everything. Appreciate everyone, all the comments, and Green Bean coming on. Hey, a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work, and it's paying off. It's paying off.
Man.
That's right. I'm
Appreciate
happy
that.
to be here for that. That's epic, dude. Look,
Yeah.
it's like every 100 subs is a friggin' big deal. It really is. And the beginning is hard. It's hard, man, to get those initial subs. So good for you, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Yep. All right, so I think that's just gonna about wrap it up. We done torturing you for a little while.
No, this was fun, man. This was fun.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, Greenbean, where can everybody follow you on social media? Like, where can everyone find Greenbean? Everybody should know this by now, but for whatever reason, if they don't,
I agree. Why don't you know it already? But if you don't, I'm Green Bean Jets fan on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. If you type in Green Bean Jets fan, you're going to find me. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm not really on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, I have it, but I don't know. I don't keep up with Facebook.
back burner. Yeah.
It's hard, man. I also have a TikTok, and I don't go there either. But so yeah, Green Bean Jets fan, wherever you're looking for, and why not full-time coaster tour as well on YouTube? Why not?
Yeah. Let's get that going.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
All right, Green Bean, it has been a blast. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us your time. It's greatly appreciated. Like Gino said, you're up in my Mount Rushmore of Jets content creators. I think you're one of the best out there. Seriously, definitely appreciate your time. And I watch all your shows. I appreciate your intake. You're always leaving me a little bit more knowledgeable.
Yeah, right on.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, thanks for saying that, man. And sincerely, I appreciate the invite. I'm glad we were able to get together, and I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm happy to do it, man. Sincerely.
Yeah, but we'll definitely bring you back, sometime in the future. But we want to get a couple guys back, so you're definitely up there, man.
Yeah, right on. And I'll try to get you guys on in the near future as well. We'll bring you on the Thursday show.
I appreciate
perfect.
that.
Yeah,
Awesome,
let us know.
Right on. All right, cool.
All right, man. Yep. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please remember, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We just hit 200, so let's keep that number rising. Follow us on all social media platforms at Everything NYJ. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. Gino has his slide next. Or Gino, what's yours?
Italy Jet everywhere. Italy Jet is everywhere.
Hey, I love it. Man. Hey, that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's fantastic, man. That was good.
Yeah,
all right.
I even got one of these.
Oh, look at that.
You got sauce. Yep.
Oh no! Yeah, look at that. Nice. I love it.
Got my own jersey too.
Yeah, you go. You're right. I got mine too. We gotta have.
He's Hollywood. This guy's everywhere. He's Hollywood.
Yeah,
he really,
right.
That's
right.
Nobody, for some reason, like people don't realize that there's two of us. Like it's just like I run like the Facebook, everyone, the Twitter, everyone just thinks I'm Gino. Like I go out in public and I get realized, hey Gino, I'm like, my name's Liam, but
Yeah.
Well, I'm more of like the behind the scenes guy, Yeah. So.
But that's all right. Yeah, it'll get there. People will understand that. For Gino's out there, he's out front making noise, which is good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's just one big family on this channel, It's really cool.
Right
but so thank you guys for watching. Are we getting a win on Sunday?
Yes, I think this is the game where we beat the Pats. I'm nervous about it. I know a lot of Jets fans were already looking past it to the Bills, not me. Belichick is freaky scary. He has owned us for decades.
Yeah.
And Bailey Zapp looks like he's better. I mean, like he's better than Zach, better than Mac. So, they get a late round pick quarterback that's playing lights out. So they're scary, but I think that the Jets are ready. I think MetLife is going to be insane. And
Yes.
that's what's going to catapult us over. It's going to be one of those games, man, that we beat the Pats. That's what I think. This is the game.
I agree
Me too.
100%.
I'm ready. Ray's not even not even my middle name. I'm just Jack.
I wish I was going to be there, dude. I would.
I
Oh,
need you. I'm going to the Bills game the following week.
One of these.
That's awesome, man. I love it.
All right, Green Bean. Thank you. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.